it's overflow. I don't really know what to, 'cause I'm a restless soul. Oh, here we go, and it's overflow. I don't know where to go, yeah, my hopeless soul. Oh, here we go, and it's overflow. I don't really know what to, 'cause I'm a restless soul. Oh, here we go, and it's overflow. I don't know where to go, yeah, my hopeless soul. I know that I just met you, but you look, oh girl, you blow my mind. I know what I would like to do, but you just keep on talking. I see your dog needs walking. Your folk drive insane. I know, yeah, that's true. Of course, you ain't the one to blame. Keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking to me. But I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. Sure, I like to listen. It's not like I don't wanna know. It's just that you've been talking to me 3 nights in a row. I think it's time to let go. Forget the past, just lose control. 'Cause life's too short for yapping. Come on and dance, come give me soul. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking. You keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking, but I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move.
What's going on? Oh, what's going on? Yeah, we're back. Shout out to the CIA. One love to the FBI. Come on. Get them up. Age, city, gender in the chat room. Yeah. Let's get it. I'm a PhD. All the PhDs in the house, shake your sexy ass.
I'm a PhD.
Shout out to all the dog mamas. Hell yeah. Big Shirley, what's going on, girl? Woo! You know how we do it. It burns. Stop it. We rebuke you.
I rebuke.
That's not nice. Since when did it become about being nice all the time? People aren't nice to me. Why y'all want me to be nice? All right. Shout out to the CIA. One love, FBI. We are back. We are back. We are back, guys. Let me see what's going on here. Where's my other remote? Let's change the camera and get this thing going. All right. So, hit that right there. How are we doing, moderators? You got the floor. You know how we do this. Keep it cool. Keep it classy. Hi to everybody that's new. I've been gone for the better part of, well, let's see. I flew out to Miami on Thursday and was in Miami over the weekend and had to do some other things around here. So internet upgrades and things like that. So what's been happening? What's going on? What's new in the world? What is new in the world? All right. Before we get into it, here's all we got to do. We got to keep the engagement up over 50%. That means likes, dislikes, do whatever you want. It all counts in the bucket. Hit the dislike button until your heart's content. It still counts as engagement. If we don't keep the likes up or the engagement up over 50%, it's this. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So let's make sure to keep the engagement up. Candle of the evening. A little Hollywood. Palo Santo from La Labo. Got Palo Santo burning. I like that one. It's neutral. It's not over the top. And then the fragrance of the evening. One of my favorite fragrances. Roja Parfums Parfum La Nuit. Parfum de la Nuit number 3. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. So let's get the obvious out of the way. Yes. I know, right? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew that World Star Hip Hop again? But this one is different. This one is different, and I will tell you why it's different. Because the first time I could honestly say it was a funny clip, ha ha he, short clip. But this last one, man, I think it would be completely overstating to think that this is about me. Once you go, 400,000 views, okay, but when you get into 1 million views in a day, that ceases to be about me. Ceases to be about the content creator, the video, and it captures a moment in time. Something else is going on. And I will say that what happened on this World Star, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is far bigger than Kevin Samuels. How many people saw New Jack City when Nino Brown was on the stand? This is far bigger than Nino Brown. I'm going down. I'm taking a whole lot of people. This is far bigger than Kevin Samuels. You have had people outside of YouTube's. You've had people who are in popular media, comedians, all kind of stuff, sharing the second half of a broadcast I did while I was in LA. Moderators, we're going to have a lot of new people in. What you need to understand in the chat room is there are a couple of rules. One, no cursing. Don't be in there cursing because you will be blocked. And if you keep getting blocked, you'll be banned. So no F-bombs. Keep it cool. Number 2, don't type in all caps. If you type in all caps, you will be timed out, okay? The system will snipe you. We have 7,500 people in here watching already, so yeah. All right, here we go. So when I say this is bigger than Kevin Samuels, I mean, come on, we got to be honest, I like myself, but come on, man. What happened is I think we captured a moment in time, and what I've looked at and saw is in the Black community, it's pretty much split along gender lines. Men are pretty much leaning on this side and women over here. And I think that, and what I realized is it's shocking a lot of people. A lot of people didn't really understand what's going on over here. A lot of men in particular. Heck, I didn't know anything about this side of YouTube. And what is done is it's made people start to at least look at relationships. Bookended with what happened in Dallas with the brother Kevin Kelly, shout out Noop, and True Kitchens and Cocktails, the restaurant, the women twerk gate. And then we had something from the New Yorker, and it popped up and went worldwide. So what happened with the New Yorker? Well, the New Yorker, for those who don't know, is a popular magazine out of New York City, obviously. And on the cover of the December 7th edition, they had this cartoon graphic. This woman over here sitting in front of her computer, immaculately dressed, holding a martini with her frilly blouse and everything else, and hiding the mess that she's living in. And I've seen many takes on this, but what the overall takes are is this is a take on modern dating and how a lot of modern women are, through whether it's because of CV or not, are faring out in this dating market. And if you're a single person and you're out here online, what's going on. So I think that we're having a conversation. So for all the people who are new over here, first off, I'm going to ask you one thing. Judge for yourself. Don't listen to other people. I've listened to a whole lot of people who had stuff to say, and most of them don't know anything about me, anything about my content. They're telling you what no sevens mean and all of judge me based on what I have. There's plenty of content. But if you're not going to sit down and watch a broadcast from start to finish, you might not get my particular style because it's not bite size. It requires a little bit. All right. So this is what I wanted to talk about. But alas, we got to talk about other stuff. What does this look like? This looks like a woman who's projecting one thing online and living a different reality. And for those of people who don't know, my name is Kevin Samuels. I'm a professional image consultant and corporate image consultant. I'm an image consultant. I package people. My job is to make sure you look good, smell great, under the best version of yourself each and every day. Image is ABCD. Appearance, behavior, communication, digital footprint. That's my background profession. Been doing that for going on about 7 years now. Before that, I had a background in corporate sales. I'm not going to go all into that. But in my capacity as an image consultant, I'm also a life coach. When I style men or women, after you get them all looking good, smelling good, they want to get out in life and have something to do. And if you want to know the entire story, go back on the video. But I'm being called a dating coach, a dating consultant. That's not really, I'm in this space now because I do have these conversations about relationship, about interacting. More on that later. People, you're here today to hear what's going on. What's going on? Who is this guy who told this woman you're average at best and you're going to die alone? Well, first off, you have to watch the full video. You have to watch the full video. But instead of me telling you, because many people are coming to me from other platforms, and I have a few things. I like to come at things in good faith with fresh eyes. You know, many people have talked about this, but I want to show a compilation of a video that I saw on Boyce Watkins' channel, because I think it best encapsulated everything I've seen across the interwebs, from the knee-jerk reaction of women who may have seen themselves in this woman. One thing that I am noticing, that there is a particular demographic of woman that got really, really angry. And, you know, we got to have the conversation because, like I said, it's not just about me, but let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, again, like I said, keep the engagement up over 50%. We're going to do this part.
Very accomplished.
We're going to do this part. We got about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to do the monologue.
To discuss this topic, because I think there are opinions all over the board. We did some research on it before we jumped in because we wanted to add something to the discussion. There is apparently a dating consultant by the name of Kevin Samuels, and Kevin said some stuff to a black woman on the air that just kind of sent chills down your spine and made some people stumble.
I don't know why it sent chills down your spine. One thing is, I just want you guys to understand the language that's being used. You know, you can have an opinion about something, but if you're going to have a discussion, can we please at least try to not bias the audience? We all have platforms, but sending chills down your spine? I mean, who am I? Monster? Apparently so, because I've had thank yous from people. I've had death threats. We got to ask the question, why did this resonate so much with people?
Turn, and the whole internet's been kind of talking about this. And so we're going to address this right now. I'm going to let the panelists in and go ahead and get comfortable, hit the thumbs up button, and we're going to begin on drboycetv.com right now. Relationship therapist, very accomplished. She's a full professor, actually, not just an assistant or associate. She's very highly accomplished in that field. So did you see the clip?
Yeah, we watched a little bit of it this morning, and this interview hurt my soul. It made me feel so bad for this young lady. Like, I felt like this relationship therapist really, or is he a coach or what is he? I don't know what he is,
He's
but I felt like
he's a consultant.
a consultant. I felt like he spoke to her with such contempt. He was very demoralizing to her. I felt that he was extremely demeaning to her. What he said made sense, but it was the way he delivered the message. And I kept thinking, oh my God, I feel so sorry for her.
Remember that. I want you to focus on how many times people have focused on, they've gone over from the person who contacted me, who called my show. They've gone over the fact that she called my show and that I did my job. Yes, job that I'm actually very good at. I'm very proud of, by the way. And there are plenty, for the people who don't know, people don't just come over here because of lights and shock value. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of videos. Go judge for yourself. But I want you to understand how quickly we jumped all the way over to how they perceived my response.
I almost felt like she could have been like traumatized by some of the things he was saying to her. I mean, he asked her questions that were extremely superficial. He was asking her questions of,
I'm an image consultant. I'm supposed to be asking questions about appearance, behavior, communication, and digital footprint. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist. And this is one of the issues I have with many people, but in particular with this sector. If you're an academician, or I do my best to at least do a little background and don't just go off. I mean, let's be honest. Shout out to WorldStar. You're doing good for me. But WorldStar has made its name off of making catchy content that's going to shock you. I mean, I would think that you would understand that and give somebody benefit of the doubt, but you got to be coming into it with good faith, in my opinion.
About what she looked like. He asked her questions about her dress size. How is your dress size even important with finding a good man or finding a relationship? It's her self-love. I would have, if I was interviewing her and I asked her, how do you think you look? And she said a 5 or a 6. I would have spent my time focusing on how she feels about herself,
Because you're not an image consultant. I am.
So what is it that you feel like you're a 5 or a 6? Because I saw a beautiful woman, personally. I saw a beautiful Black woman.
And I got to say this too. Women, you got to understand, the end consumer of the product that is a woman is a man. What you ladies see does not matter to we as men. You guys often overvalue yourselves and see each other through emotional eyes. Men, we don't see it that way. And I will say thank you to Boyce for actually doing a straw poll on Twitter, which I'm going to push the results at the end, because I think that's something else that had a lot of people shocked. Men and women are different. Now, I want you to understand how often people talk about the tone instead of the actual opinion, fact, data, statistics, whatever, the substance. Very little gets spent over here. It's all over right here. And that's something that I think is different. And that's something I think has hit a tone with people. More on that in a minute.
Woman, it sounds as if she's interested in the 6-figure. And that would have been curious to me. Like, I would have liked to have talked to her and asked her, like, how did you come to the conclusion that having 6 figures is all of a sudden going to make that man important to you? So it just seems as if, and also he made her feel some of the words he said.
I can't make anybody feel like anything. And as a counselor, therapist, come on.
It made me feel sorry for her as a single mother. I'm a single mom, technically. I know a lot of single mothers
Hit dogs will bark.
who have a lot to give in relationships. I felt that it was traumatizing. It was traumatizing for me to watch it. And I also feel that if you want to help somebody, the best thing you can do for that person is to demonstrate empathy for them. Like, she's coming to him for help. Why couldn't he just
30 minutes this interview went, actually 25 minutes it went, and you saw 7 minutes. Yeah, I'm a little upset because this is the common response that so many women gave. Poor her, bad man, you should have did this way. Personally, I find that a little troubling and somewhat arrogant to think that you know better how to do what I'm doing than I do. I wouldn't go into your restaurant and tell you how to cook your specialty just because I'm a chef.
Just listen to her and listen to where her experiences are, what she experienced, and then take that and try to give her some constructive advice. He totally humiliated her on television or on social media. It's all over everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. And I think that as Black men and women, when we speak to each other, it should be with the utmost level of respect, the utmost level of love. To watch that made me feel sad. I was very disappointed in a professional.
Now you understand something. I agree. But respect is reciprocal and it goes both ways. I often hear women speak about respect as one way. At least it seems that way. But I find it interesting how one man makes a video and then all of the bile that comes out of what seems to be Black America because I made a video. I've heard men be called dusty, crusty. I mean, come on, we know what goes on. Men have heard that we're wrong for the longest. Ladies, understand something. Men can't always be wrong. In particular, your Black men can't always be wrong. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of men tend to hear when they hear responses like a lot that's been going on.
Who's helping someone approach that situation like that?
Well, that's where she's coming from. If you don't agree, then you might be mad at her. But I think it's important to hear her voice. So, sister, I'd like to ask your take. Did you get a chance to see the video?
Yeah, I saw the whole video.
Okay.
At first, I was just sent the clip where I saw just the small part where he told her that she was going to die alone and everything. I didn't see the part where he was using profanity against her. And so that part I didn't have an opinion on until later when I found out that he was actually cursing at her.
Using profanity at her, cursing at her. You would think I cursed this woman up one side and down the other. 3 curse words.
But in all honesty, the guy was correct. And he gave her sound advice. He didn't give her direction. Like, there are things that she could have definitely done. In my personal opinion, she could correct things, but it would take 5 to 10 years to reach the type of man that she seeks for marriage.
Interesting. So when you say that he was correct, what are a couple things you'd say he was correct about?
That if she doesn't change, she's going to die alone. Absolutely correct. That she's
Thank you.
only eligible for an average guy. Absolutely
Thank you.
correct. That she, in my personal opinion, he didn't mention this part, but she was disrespectful. She was selfish. She was focused on what she wants more than what she wants to give. She didn't have any feminine skills to offer.
And what she's referring to is the woman who called into my show called in on a day where I'm doing disagreements. As an avid watcher of the show, my viewers know that I like to talk about a topic. Go back and watch the beginning because I purposely told her that you can book a session and we can do this one-to-one. But she wanted what she wanted, how she wanted it. And I said, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to use it as a teaching lesson. And that's exactly what I did. So stop putting this woman up on as some poor, innocent little victim. She got what she wanted. You may not understand it, you may not like it, but why don't you respect her choice to make it? Why don't you respect her ability to make her own choice? So I find it funny. We tell women that they're strong and empowered and everything else, but then we question the decisions that they make when they don't line up with how some of you think.
She didn't have any nurturing skills. She didn't even know what men actually seek, who are in the category that she seeks, or just average men. She doesn't know what they seek either. So I think that
oh, go ahead, please.
I just want to say that it's blatantly obvious to me, a person who has not watched media in 16 years, a person from America, but from New Orleans, who has grown up in surrounded by Black families where the father was the leader of the home, and then going out into America and realizing that Black America is very, very matriarchal. And one of the reasons why women cannot take correction is because you have to come from a father-led home in order to see correction as love. You're going to see it as an attack otherwise. And
notice how many women in responding to me said I attacked this woman. So thank you for saying this, because I think I think a lot of times you need to hear it come from someone else. An attack, you attacked her, you demeaned her, belittled her. Your perception. I'm open to criticism. I'm not perfect. I know that. There are things I could have done better, but come on. Some of the stuff that's just being said, but like I said, it stopped being about me a long time ago.
So I literally have moved. Our family lives in France now because just being around people like the lady on that video is too much for me every day. And I'm not seeking to marry her. So I can only imagine what Black men are going through, looking at the wigs, looking at the fake eyelashes, the long, crazy nails, the sassy attitude, the selfishness, the lack of inability to nurture, the inability to understand how the world works, and the constant and excessive spending. What type of man would marry a woman who doesn't know how to spend, how to save money, doesn't know how to multiply money, and only seeks to marry him so that she can go shopping?
Wow. Okay, I forgot to mention that, Ro. You actually run. I remember you ran a wife school for a while. Do you still run the wife
school? Wife school is extremely popular still. It is now on 3 continents. Wife school is several $1,000s, $15,000 to $30,000. We have tons of people in wife school, contrary to popular belief, but the people who come to wife school are quiet, feminine ladies who are serious, whose parents pay money for them to become well married. You know, yes, we do very much still have wife school. We have parent classes, and we have cooking classes and things to make sure that we're really getting to every single detail.
Wow.
So that women do qualify.
Wow. Okay. So, well, I'll tell you what, it looks like in the chat, you have quite a few people that are digging what you are saying. And also we finally have some more gender diversity in the room. I love that. Faye Bishop just walked in the building. Faye, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Can you hear me?
Yes. Did you get a chance to see the clip by chance with the brother, the relationship consultant?
Yes. I saw the clip at first. And one thing I've learned to stop doing is judging clips thanks to mainstream media. So I took it upon myself the other night and watched the whole video. For one, I think what everybody is zooming in on is what Kevin Samuel said versus what this woman had said about herself. One of the things that stood out to me is he asked her a lot of probing questions about herself. And the reason he was asking her these questions is just like with any consultant or a therapist or a person who's seeking out advice from someone, he's trying to give her good feedback. What I noticed about her is she was barely making eye contact when she was talking. She rated herself a 5 in the looks department.
Let's get that clear to begin with. Everyone that said I called her average is being disingenuous. You're flat out wrong. Everyone that's saying I gave her a 5 is flat out wrong. I asked her, where would you rank yourself? She gave herself the rating. But that would make ownership and accountability not be right here. See, it had to be about the messenger. I didn't do anything to this person. We talked, and that's what she saw herself. And here's the thing. We got to also ask this question. When did being average become so bad? Because I got news for you guys who are out there saying you shouldn't have called her average, and all you guys who are coming, especially the guys coming to me saying what I shouldn't have did. I'm sorry, but this woman here said she didn't want an average man. If you looked at what she said if I feel like I need a 6-figure man in order to be able to fully submit. So a lot of stuff some of you guys are saying, she wouldn't want you. That's just the cold hard truth. So we have to have a different conversation. We've been having a one-way conversation, and that's dead in my opinion. We have to have a different conversation, and here's what's going to have to happen. You're not going to like this, but you're going to have to start listening to black men. Not the black men who tell you what you want to hear or tell you what you think. You're gonna have to ask black men what they want. If you care to be with one. If you don't care to be with one, you probably shouldn't even be here.
When he asked her, what kind of value do you feel you bring to the table or to a relationship, she could barely articulate it, which in my opinion, if you don't know your worth, then how is he or any other man or any other person watching this video able to determine that for you? How can that be an expectation? She didn't really come across like someone who was very self-aware. She seemed a bit conflicted with things that she was saying. She started picking up her phone and laughing, and it's just kind of like, what's going on? She seemed like her focus, she was starting to get distracted, almost as if she was taking it as a joke. So I think that what happened is Kevin started to notice that, and that's what upset him.
Mm-hmm. What do y'all think about? What do y'all think about this? It almost seemed like he was saying to her that it's not that you can't have a man. It's that in his opinion you can't have that type of man, right? And it almost like telling somebody, look, I know you want to make $150 a year, but you got a GED, right?
But she cannot. She cannot have that kind of man. She cannot.
Really?
She doesn't. Okay. She does not qualify.
Really? Okay.
Well, I think
it's just reality. Men,
I agree.
The type of man that she seeks has options. He has concerns. He wants generational success. He wants to make sure that his money is not wasted. He wants to make sure that his wife represents him well and teaches his children well. It has to all match. And so she literally doesn't fit into that. So she's going to have to marry somebody who handles garbage or an electrician or something more to her level, which she doesn't believe is her level.
Oh, and she thinks that that's beneath her because of the income thing, right? Because she makes.
I need you ladies to understand something. For everyone saying how terrible men are, roughly 10% of men in this country, I'm not even dealing with black men, earn 6 figures or more. Whether you think that's a good number or not, it's irrelevant. By saying what she was saying, which I have no problem with it, you can want what you want. I don't judge what people want. When people ask me, when people want what they want, I don't judge it. I just say, what's the likelihood of getting it according to a lot of numbers? It's a lot of numbers. But by saying you want a 6-figure guy, that means she was cutting out. She was saying 90% of men aren't good enough for her. I find it interesting that women jump all the way, that so many people jumped all the way to how harsh I was being, and I'm looking down on her, and I'm like, well, what are you doing to those 90% of men? See, it's okay for women to not settle, but it seems as though it's wrong for a man to have a standard. So if it's if it's wrong for a woman to settle, is it right for a man to settle for you? Conversations we're going to have to start having, because there was a major disconnect between men and women here.
6 figures, she feels like
And it's not. A woman's income has absolutely nothing to do with how she matches with a man. Zero. Because a real man does not want a woman's money. He needs to make his own money. He needs to make his own money to feel the way that he needs to feel to be able to continue daily. Yes. So the only thing that a man that she's describing really seeks from a wife is the ability to have generational success, which means her child is another obstacle, right? He, if she can find a creative way, and we teach that, if she can find a creative way for her son to be an asset instead of a liability, then she has something. But it has to really match. It has to really fit.
So Chef Juan,
in terms of stuff we learned, this imagery thing in terms of exactly how women,
I think black women, these black women at this age have been raised by the TV. They literally aren't even listening to their parents if their parents did give them good advice. And the TV is just going to tell them the opposite of what they need to do to secure the life that they want. Wow. And the whole purpose of that is to make sure that black women keep being the working mules of America.
I need you ladies to pay attention to this. So for those of you who don't understand, watch my content, I talk about this all the time. How the black community was lied to. How we were purposely split up so that black people could fund this country. Black men are not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. You don't know my content, go back and watch it. And I'll also thank you to WorldStar for putting up another video. If you think I am honest and direct. I talk to people. I talk to guys the same way. Actually, I talk to guys even more direct because honestly, guys can handle it. And we're going to have to get to the point to where we can't just we continue to tell women what they want to hear. That's what I've been told. It's your delivery. It's your delivery. It's your delivery. But that's kind of hypocritical, ladies. And telling women that they'll have, that it don't matter what these guys are telling you, wait there for that somebody who wants you. Look, no, that's not all right, because I said it and I meant it. Die alone. I've seen it in my family. I see it now. You see it. And we got to start being honest about this. We're so uncoupled. And one of the big issues that I'm starting to notice is most of my clients, 90+% of my clients want to be married. I have a Facebook group that I've just had together for 5 months? 4 months, 5 months. There are 5 couples already in there and 2 on the way to being married. I'm not a matchmaker. How can a guy who's an image consultant throw up a Facebook group and handpick about 800 people and put them in the same room and produce 5 couples and 2 on the way to being married? Where are all the matchmakers? And for all the dating coaches and relationships, where are the relationships? So you may not like my delivery, but I have women that I've talked to on this channel. You saved my marriage. Go watch my content. Don't judge me based on a sound clip. Because at the end of the day, who benefits with us being separate? You want reparations and this and that without a black family, you can't have black nothing. The core unit of a community is a family. And right now, a black family is a mother, children, and a man is over there somewhere. Don't judge the messenger. Talk about the message. And see, we're going to get into that in a minute too. We love to talk about the messenger but it's usually only one way, when you don't like the message. It's only when we don't like the message. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, it's like they brainwash people.
Wow, the working mules of America. Elaborate on that.
It's just that Black women make so much more money in America and take so many jobs away from Black men. And then they spend about 100% of what they make right back into the economy. They have tons of debt. They have created a system that literally keeps the entire world rolling, with America at the top, with all of the Black women spending.
That is true. That is a fact.
Wow. Okay.
That is a fact.
So if Black women get married, we spend less money and we ruin the world economy. But women are getting stressed, we're getting cancer, we're dying young, we're having strokes. That's what we're getting out of it. Yep. Loneliness, heartbreak, being left with children alone. That's what we're getting out of it. I teach women to take these jobs that they have bribed you with to ruin your life and find a way to transfer it to the husband that you are, are marrying, so that he can be the worker and you can be the nurturer. Then the woman can focus on generational success.
Let me respond to that too. Black men don't want to get married. Bullshit. In the group I'm talking about, I asked the question: age, job, length on job. I ask a lot of questions because I want to have a group of like-minded people. And one of the biggest questions I had: do you want to be married, and if so, in what time frame? I had 3 men that said they didn't want to be married out of 400. I don't get it. If we have so many people talking about relationships and this and that, what are we talking about? We're going to have to end up. What's different is I talk to men. And so what I see so often is, it seems to me that the modern woman doesn't really understand men. You don't talk to men. You don't know men. You don't know what men want. And then when men actually say some things, you're shocked. It's like Black men have been made to fear telling you the truth. And for good reason, because when it gets told, you want to destroy us. Kevin Kelly tells the truth. He wanted to cancel his business. I tell the truth to a woman who asks me, and I get death threats. But cui bono? Who benefits by you being a single woman and this brother being single over here when we're about to go back down into a dark winter and everybody else is coupled up? Is this not anyway?
Just exactly what's not supposed to happen.
So that's probably why he was getting frustrated. But he could have let her explain himself. That's my critique from just looking at this video. And he didn't have to curse her out at the end of the video. But other than that, I mean, it's just like when people saying he's
curse her out. I said, get the French toast off my phone. Is that cursing somebody out? I've been cursed out. And guess what? I learned how to curse from the best in the game, from my mamas and their aunties. I know what cursing out is. And that woman did not get cursed out. I said, broad. And as I was hanging up, get the French toast off of here. After 25 minutes of trying to talk to someone who was being rude, not paying attention, taking this as a joke, called in on the wrong day. I did everything you got to say, help her out. Did everything I'm supposed to do. But at the end, was there any respect for that? But again, I'm supposed to do that, right? That's the problem. We're supposed to give. And then when we simply ask for respect, you get angry at us. I'm telling you, it's a new day, ladies. It is a new day. And whether you want to deal with it or not, Black men have been asking, begging, pleading with you to get off of our furniture twerking. We've been doing this for how long? And when he finally snaps, you want him canceled. Well, you should have done your different tone. How many times was I supposed to ask? How many times would have been good enough? I've had people call into my show and tell me about your tone. Well, you should have did this. You should have did that. And all you hear is the snap. You didn't hear the 16 times before that. But it's because it already fits into your confirmation bias that I'm a misogynist and black men are, patriarchal and the patriarchy's bad, or whatever you think about us, whatever it is, bad, low level contempt and lack of respect, because come on.
He's being, like she was saying, he's being mean and all the stuff. He was really just trying to help. And I know some people in the comments, they were saying, because I was saying, about correction out of love. And like, oh, he doesn't know her. He doesn't love her. So, but for a good portion of people who are Christian or have some kind of a faith out of love, you can love somebody and not know them. I have love for everybody on this panel, everybody in the comments, everybody that's watching or who will watch after we're done here. I have love for all y'all. I want all of us to succeed. I don't necessarily have to know you to love you and want to help you. So we have to get away from this person. Stop making excuses for every little thing. It's like he was trying to correct her and help her out of love. Otherwise, he wouldn't have accepted her on his program. She came to him. He didn't come to her.
Right.
Do you want to go, Ro, or do you?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think that his language was absolutely incorrect. But coming from the same position as a person who deals with Black American women who think they're a 10, and how frustrating it is when they're really like a negative 380, it's just so off the mark that you're looking at reality and they're seeing something completely opposite. I know his frustration. Something like that is likely to fall out of his mouth.
Well,
to piggyback off of what Ro just said, I didn't necessarily agree with the cursing, but upon watching the entire video, which I highly recommend everybody to do, because we're in this era of fake news and where a snippet can cause a riot, he was fed up, and I think what he felt was that she wasn't listening. And that's very important when we're dialoguing and having these kinds of conversations. It's about listening. And she really wasn't doing any active listening. I think what she was seeking from him was for him to validate the way she felt about herself. And she came across a bit entitled, particularly upon watching the second clip. If you pay attention, he said, "What's wrong with getting an average guy?"
You just
he waited for her to answer him, and she did not. That's why I said she did not come across very self-aware. She seemed very conflicted.
How many videos have I seen this year with Black women saying they don't want no blue collar man? They don't want no factory. They don't want no 9-to-5 guy. They want a guy that makes fast money. I've seen 5-6 videos to come to mind. I need a guy who's an entrepreneur. What are we saying to our skilled tradesmen, our blue collar, the men who build this country and make this world work? Shout out to all the blue collar brothers. We white collar brothers ain't shit without you. I've said it and I say it again. You build the roads, dig the ditches, build the buildings, and do all the unsexy work that allows dudes like me to sit in a suit in air conditioning. Thank you. And for some reason, our women are looking down upon the very men who are the first ones who can go out and own your own business. Newsflash. You want a 6-figure guy who owns his own business? That's much likely an electrician, plumber, HVAC, heating, technician, truck driver, than a doctor or a lawyer. That comes with a lot of debt. These guys can actually go out and get CDLs and 6-figure jobs and own logistics firms. But because I have talked to women who will say, I can't bring them around my friends. One of the big issues is we look down upon the men that are supposed to build the business class. And I mean, no disrespect to the athletes and entertainers, but when I talk about high value, I'm talking about a business class that's missing. Where are the black banks? We talk about all this stuff, but you cannot build without a black men are not your enemy. And the reason so many things that we say come across to you as foul is because you don't know us. You've not, and many of you have not even tried to get to know us. That's why I say the first thing we all need is therapy. If you've never watched my panel, I say we all need therapy. This condition in this country that we haven't offed ourselves is amazing. He needs it. She needs it. For our daddy issues and our mother issues. I am not perfect. I don't try to be perfect. I don't try to act like I am. I've asked for counselors and therapists and this and that, because at the end of the day, we have to have a different conversation. That's why I say the gender war is over. At least where I am, it's over. Now it's time to negotiate the peace, and it's going to be time for black men and black women sit down at the table and hammer out a deal. Get our Noah's Ark on 2x2 and get the French toast on and go build something that resembles a life. Because running around with a dog and your PhD at 40 years old and your condo and your BMW and no Christmas gifts under the Christmas tree because you ain't had a man in 7 years, come to my channel. I don't understand why women go over there, because they're getting something that they're not getting from other places. The truth. From a man's point of view, a man who talks to men, a man who talks to the kind of men they say they want. I just tell them what these men say. You don't understand it? Well, you don't understand why? Well, it's probably because you probably don't listen to a lot of guys. So I will say, no, there was another important part here. I need to play this.
I think what she was saying in terms of feeling like she wanted the six-figure guy and all of this entitlement was her piggybacking off of what all the women who comment on the Shade Room blog says. We all, or most black women who work and make money, feel they're entitled to men who make money. When making money just seems, you work a job, you have a business, you make money. All making money does is put you in a certain tax bracket. It doesn't entitle you to anything.
And
I think that the selfishness of the Black American woman is astonishing for her to actually believe that all of that comment was just about bashing her. He made it very clear that he was commenting for everyone to learn from. So the fact that Black America is in an uproar when the comment was really for people to learn from, this man gave his time on a day where he was not supposed to teach, to reach Black women in general. And for people to try to think it's about one woman goes back to this selfish problem again. It wasn't really it wasn't all about her.
If I may add to that, one of the things I think a lot of people, one of the reasons, this is a theory I have that everybody is in uproar about,
Please pay attention.
Messenger. They don't have a problem with the message. They have a problem with the messenger. The messenger is a heterosexual Black man.
Let me stop right here. Thank you, Faye. Problem is the messenger. Something I definitely recognize because it's a heterosexual Black man. Do you know how many people, how many people I've seen make content who are sitting back? He's down low. He's gay. He's this. He's that. Can't wait till you're out video. Let me say this clearly. Please stop this BS, Black people. The first thing you want to do to discredit a Black man is call him gay. I am not gay. I'm not a homosexual. I don't have sex with men. I never have. And anybody who says it, you need to ask them for proof, not their psychoanalytic ability to divine the tea leaves because the shoes I wear or my perfume or my candles or the bag I wear. No, you need to show them this, show you video proof of me with a man, because right now you're playing in slander. But see, it's okay because I'm a Black man. It's okay to insinuate that I'm gay. But then it's funny, if I was gay, you probably would have accepted the message more, because heterosexual Black men in power seem to be something you really have an issue with. So it's funny that my delivery seems to be a problem because I'm just direct. But you know what's interesting to me? What's interesting to me is you can have somebody like this, who's made an entire career on being rude, being direct, entire career. And people thrive to him, but he's a white man, so he's allowed full emotional expression. I'm a Black man. I'm man not. I can only have the emotional expression that you deem appropriate as a black woman to a black man. And if I step out of line, I must be destroyed or diminished and called gay. I'm not. So I need that to be clear. So anytime you hear a black man or a black woman throwing shade, it's not an insult. It's not a sneak diss. It's an outright lie. And we seem to have no problem saying that. But you know what? You worry so much about black women. What about my black mother? What about the people in my family who have to hear you call me all kinds of can't wait till his gay exposed tape? No, it's not going to happen. And if you think I'm going to jump up and have to show you a bunch of women, you're not going to see my private life, because I see what happens to people when they put their private life out with a message that goes against the grain in some areas. My message doesn't go against the grain everywhere. But when you're Simon Cowell, you can be direct as a white man. You know, that's all right for you. You can actually build a career and people actually want to see you because you're that. That's okay. When you're Gordon Ramsay, you can call people stupid. You can call them stupid little monkeys. You can curse them out and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different shows. People love to see Gordon Ramsay go off, but you know, he's a white man. Yeah, but you know, black men do it. Oh, he's toxic. He's misogynoir. He's repressed, and he's projecting his homosexual latent desire. Y'all need therapy. You go to that length other than to just say, does the brother have a point? No, you got to make him a closeted, angry homosexual because you don't like what he's saying. That's sick. And because I said, if you're going to die alone, yeah, you're going to die. We're all going to die. The 2 black women on the panel said, you're going to die. So we need to start acting like we're going to die. And far too many of us walk through life like kids of summer. And one of the things that happens on my channel very often is women say, you know what? I never framed it that way. I never understood the danger zone. The danger zone is 27 to 35 years old. And what that means is it's time for you to really start focusing upon your mating options, because after 35, according to science, pregnancies tend to become high risk. It's not meant to insult women. It's meant to focus your mind like a yellow light going through a traffic. But again, I'm a black man. You don't have to give me any good faith because I'm evil anyway, right? I'm misogynistic. I'm out to destroy black women. So everything I say has to be bad. And you'll find a way to make it bad even when it's not. That's cool. But we still gonna keep on moving.
Professional. I believe in my heart, had this message came from a Dr. Phil, or if this message had come from Don Lemon or someone like that, it would have been received differently. Totally. But because this is a heterosexual, professional black male giving his perspective about relationships to this black woman, they want to make her feel like he was bullying her. That she is this wounded bird that fell out of a tree. She is not. This is a grown woman over 35, and she is also a mother. He was direct. He was straightforward. In my opinion, he was far more polite by comparison to an Iyanla Vanzant or a Gary Vee or even a Dr. Phil. For
Iyanla Vanzant recently did something with Lisa Ray. I want to say Shay Johnson. And I find it interesting that when I ask someone, how do people experience you? How do people know you? The way I ask it is far nicer than what she does, but because she's the queen mother, she can get in somebody's face and yell. And y'all will say, well, it's tough love. Again, black man, he's either got to be repressed or toxic. Either one, what it comes right down to is you're going to have to understand something. We can't always be wrong.
Anyone who chimes into his show enough, I think he was far more polite. He cursed at the end, but I think there was a reason. I know that there was a reason for that. But I think it's the messenger rather than the message that everybody has a problem with.
What do the fellas have to say about that? I mean, do you feel that? Do you feel heard?
Well, let me say this too. The messenger. Who are you? Okay, if not me, then who? Who's good enough to talk to you? I've asked this question. Who's good enough to talk to you? Or who does it the right way? Or who are you? You've been divorced twice. Oh, but see, Steve Harvey's divorced 3 times. Shout out to you, Steve. But see, it only matters if I'm saying something that you don't want to hear. If I say something that you want to hear, it's all good. Failure, it would be better if I was married for 30 plus years. Then you'd say, well, how you know? Because you ain't out here. Again, is there any way a black man can be right when speaking to black women? I'm asking, seriously. Because if it has to be, we got to tiptoe through the tulips and walk around on eggshells, that time is over. Men are tired of having to meter themselves about everything. It's not going to happen, ladies. It's not. That's why 2019 divorces were at a 50-year low. Marriages were at new marriage filings were at a 50-year high. But in the black community, those statistics were still going in the same direction. Divorce is up, marriage is down. No black family, no black marriage, no black family, no black community. How you plan on doing that? And at the end of the day, if you want to figure it out, you're going to have to understand, what do the men want? Ladies, you control access to your body and sex. Men control access to relationship and marriage. That's always been, always will be. There's no way you open a business and try to tell the consumer they got to just take what you have on the menu. They have the right of choice. If men aren't choosing, the smart thing to do would be to ask them why, not shame them, not down them, not insult them, for you don't try to using good old sign language. What sign language? Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Straight out the playbook. If you don't do what we want you to do, we're going to come out the playbook. It's not working. Guys, there's not enough shame. You're not going to shame somebody into doing what you want them to do. You're not going to insult them. You're not going to guilt them. Men have a right to be heard just like you do. And like it. And black men, I will say this, still want black women. Yes, there are guys who are going out of the country, going across out of the community, but the majority still want black women. That is something to be happy with and try to build on. But what do you expect? Them to want nothing in return? Or what do you expect them to want in return? What can they ask for? Let's get on into it and finish this up.
Like, do you feel that you are allowed to share your point of view and have it be heard? Or do you feel that there are people that have a problem when a black man speaks? Anybody?
No, I definitely feel like just American media in general has definitely, it's the propaganda that T was talking about the other day. They have been pushing that to where no one really wants to listen to a black man. If he says something, then they take offense to it. Oh, well, who are you anyway? That's the first question. Who do you think what did this person do? Why did this? That's why when I first started talking about Kevin Samuels at the beginning, I was like, okay, he is an image consultant. He is making well above 6 figures, et cetera, et cetera.
No, I'm not. I'm a fraud. I'm a scam artist. I'm nothing. All that. Oh, wow. At what point do you realize that this is not about me? We're going to open the call line because you got to realize something. That if this has struck such a nerve and such a hot topic, it goes far deeper than a guy in a suit with some candles, some flowers, some lights, and a twirly thing. Far deeper. We got to start understanding why. So to all the professionals, the counselors, the therapists, the consultants, the matchmakers, where y'all at? Apparently, struck a nerve with Black America. We're all sending the soldiers, sending the medics. This ain't about me.
Et cetera, because I already know, I think there was a comment where somebody was like, well, who was he? And all this other stuff, because we always want to, and that's been ingrained in us. We've been trained with what Ro was saying, like watching the media you don't realize with the stuff that you're watching, we are being taught to not like ourselves, to not like Black men, and you are pushing Black women more so as the leaders instead of Black men. Not saying that they can't be leaders. There's plenty of great women leaders, like queens that rule nations. Yeah, of course, Black women are amazing. That's why Black girl magic. But also, Black men are amazing too. We have some Black boy magic. So, and if there's no room for us to be great, you are going to have this divide. You are going to have conversations like this to where no one is listening. And listening is imperative. Like sometimes you have to quiet yourself. And when someone is giving you if you come into advice or if they're trying to give you a critique, again, out of love, take that. I mean, the first thing, you might get offended. And it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. But work on that to where we're not getting so emotional and triggered every time somebody is trying to correct us out of love. We need correction. You can't grow if you're not allowing somebody to help you. And that's the thing I'm seeing here. Like she might learn later on a few days later, but yeah, I mean, at the moment, she was triggered, and everybody else.
Yeah, so people get triggered.
All right, let's get into it. Let's open the call lines and get it going. This ought to be a really interesting. Oh my goodness. Where is it at? Just a second. Where'd it go?
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar.
Ladies only.
Dormir en algún lugar.
There's a call line.
Un lugar para trabajar. Y si no hay, puede emigrar. Todo money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te la ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue.
I'm a PhD.
El mundo quiere dinero.
What's a PhD?
Money work.
More on that later.
Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah, no me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No
13,000, new record.
Seré el más grande, no olvidaré.
Come on.
De dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. Yeah. El mundo quiere dinero.
Go Tierra.
Yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Yeah. Money work. De corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz.
Money world. Go. Come on, T. Do that thing.
Money world. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah. Money world. Se arregla con dinero. Money world. Lunático.
All right, so here's how we're going to do this. If you want to be on the show, you must get on video. You don't have to be on video on the camera. You got to get on video over here. Because I anticipate a lot of new behavior. And if you want to troll, you're going to have to at least troll so I can see you. Again, you do not have to be on YouTube, but I need to be able to see who I'm talking to. Here we go. Jesus Christ. Let's see. All right, we got 27 people in here. All right, we're going to start from the top. Just admit all of you. Let's do it. Yeah. Money World. Yeah. Yep. I believe I said it's women only. So, guys, thank you, but no guys. All right. We're gonna go with Gigi first. Gigi, where are you at? Gigi, how are you? Unmute yourself, please. I am well. What do you have for me?
Woman of 14 years.
Okay.
And I agree of everything that you have said and have spoken on throughout the time that I've been watching you for a while. And I thank my husband for that.
Okay.
You have given me the encouragement on my Facebook to speak about the toxic behavior of us Black women. So I just want to put my 2 cents out there.
You say you're talking about this on your Facebook?
Yes, I have. And I have.
Do what now?
I have called heat. It was about 2 months ago. I was speaking about the same thing regarding our behavior, about us being better mothers, better wives, the weaves and everything.
Has there been any resources brought to bear? Any improvements? I mean,
some ladies, yes, they have reached out to me because I am a spiritual advisor. And when I do talk to some of these women, I tell the truth. I don't hold back. But there are some that say, "Hey, she's a scam artist," you know.
Oh, okay. Well,
they say the same.
Well, you know, we're gonna have to come up with a different language for things. Calling everybody scam artist and gay is enough. But all right, appreciate it, Gigi. Thank you for calling in, sis.
No problem.
Yeah, you know, I don't get us sometimes, but hey, we gotta start somewhere. So, let's see. Jeanette, you're next. Jeanette, unmute yourself, please. Hello, Jeanette. Is it Jeanette? What do you got? What do you got for me?
Content. I didn't realize how much I didn't understand the man I'm in a current relationship with, and I don't know. You brought a lot of understanding, and I don't know. I feel good about it. So thank you.
Do you
for
guys
the content?
Do you guys ever discuss any of the stuff you watch?
Not now. But I'm sure that we'll get into some discussion about it because of just things that have happened in our relationship, just not being able to resolve conflict. And I always thought it was because of a lack of understanding.
Well,
so
have you actually sat down and had therapy yourself individually?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Has he?
No.
Would he be open to it?
I'm really not sure. I've asked him about couples therapy, and we went one time, and he was
couples
not.
Couples therapy is one thing, but individual, I'm a big fan of people going to get their own understanding of themselves. So
Okay.
because honestly, if you gone, you know that going through a process to where you better understand yourself, you're not necessarily the same person you were going in. So it may make a different. You may end up making a different decision on the outside. Either way, congratulations on you going and getting you your head together. Stay in it. Don't give up on it. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
So here's what I'm
Thank
gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. In the comments in the chat room, if you have a disagreement, go ahead and hit the sign. There's a sign that says raise your hand. If you have a disagreement, raise your hand, and because I want to hear the people who have an issue. Because while I appreciate the people who call in saying thank you, I want to hear the people who have an issue, or maybe I can clear something up, maybe something out of line. Just raise your hand. So let's see what's going on. So I see you guys in the chat room. Just a second. Let me look at what's going on YouTube. 13,000 people. I rebuke. Hey, all right, let me say this one more time. If you say the B word in the chat room, you're gonna be blocked. If you type in all caps, you're gonna be blocked. Find a different word, find a different expression. Find a different word, find a different expression. All right. While we're waiting for that, CMP05. Or do you next? CMP05. These are some interesting names. CMP05. Go ahead. Hello? Hi, your first name. So I can know what to call you. What do you got for me, Cassandra? Yeah, I can. What do you have for me? Okay.
I was raised in a two-parent home, and the tone that you use with people is no different than the tone my father used to use with me when he's trying to bring across the point, and it's a pertinent point, and this is something that we need to understand. This is how you talk to somebody. Right. And if somebody can't hear the criticism, and they're not ready for it, then they maybe just shouldn't call you. But
well, I mean, that's some truth to that. I mean, nobody's perfect. We can always get better.
Right.
But
right.
I've looked at the video over and over again, and I'm like, well, there were no less than 7 times where I said you could do this individually. But
right.
it's going to be received the way it is.
I actually just watched the video today, so it's very fresh in my
mind. Well, in hindsight, it's always 2020. It's being picked apart by a lot of people, and that's fine. There's nothing that I put out that I don't do a live show because I'm not going to stand on what I say. We can all make improvements. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
All right. Ladies, if you have your camera on, that gives me an idea who I'm looking to. Courtney, you're next. Courtney. Courtney, I don't want to say your last name. Courtney, unmute yourself. What do you got for me?
What the previous young lady was saying. I grew up in a 2-parent home. My father had the same delivery as well. I recently watched the video about why weight is keeping you single. Not gonna lie, it hurt my feelings, but at the same time, it was a wake-up call because.
But I'm curious, why did it hurt your feelings? Because it wasn't about you.
It hurt my feelings because it was true. It was the truth. You spoke truth. It's something I've heard from male friends, my father, my brothers, and it was like he just slapped me in the face with the truth. So I mean, I'm actually in therapy working through issues because I've actually struggled with my weight. Like I'll bring it down and then something will rock my world and it'll shoot back up again. So I'm working through that and, trying to get that high value man that I want.
Well, See, that's another thing. The high value thing. High value is only a very small segment of men, but there are plenty of suitable, great, productive, competitive, successful men out there.
Well, I should say maybe higher value than what I've been getting.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Evaluate a man's, yes, money and all these things are important, but long-term relationship is something we all are going to have to learn how to do better in Black community. And I think respect and character matter. You know me. I say you can fall in love later. Respect down the line. But so you're in therapy now. I'm glad to hear you're in therapy. Stay at it and keep working it though, because developing a healthy lifestyle for you moving forward,
Right.
a better quality of life, regardless as to where you're at in your relational life. But one thing precedes the other. Thanks a lot, Ma. Appreciate you calling in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. And see, that's one thing I was always fascinated how some of the videos, I'm like, how does it hurt your feelings if I'm not talking about Mira? It almost looks like America, but it's a mirror. So Amira, unmute yourself. Hi, how are you? What do you got for me? Good. So
into you for I want to say like maybe 3 weeks now,
okay.
and I find your perspective to be very insightful. I've learned a lot from you. My relationship has benefited greatly from your perspective. I think that a lot of people are very sensitive and maybe take things a little bit too personal, and they're not able to just absorb the message and use it as a method to self-critique so that they can
Right.
apply your jewels to their circumstance.
Well,
And
and as somebody who's doing this, you have to get better at reading the audience too. I mean, I think that we have not heard enough of reality. I don't want to say tough love, but you said it's benefiting your relationship.
Mhm.
Do you guys watch together, or he just commented that he noticed a difference?
Well, I don't share. I haven't
Ah,
shared with him that I listen to you, or
okay.
he doesn't, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know who you are. But, me being the kind of person I always want to be improving and being my best self, and contributing to my relationship and making sure that both of us are
As long as you're getting
happy and
better outcomes.
fulfilled. Yeah, my outcomes have been fantastic. We have a very happy, joyous, stable relationship. So
Well then, Merry Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Send me a card. Bye.
thank you. Bye bye.
All right, let's see. If you have a disagreement or something, go ahead and raise your hand. I want to get to the people who have a disagreement or a little bit confused about something. You have to put your hand up first so I can see you. Lord, we got like 11 million people in here right now. All right, Nisha, you're up next. Am I gonna be able to get to everybody before we're out of time? All right, Nisha, unmute yourself. I can. What do you got for me?
I just wanted to first of all thank you for posting the full video,
Right.
because having like everybody said the snippet, it could be very judgmental, but off the top I totally agree with you.
Okay.
And the reason I agree with you is because I was her.
Okay.
So I am a woman who makes a decent amount of money, but I would target men who were beneath me so that I can control them. And that was just the bottom line. And once I started doing shadow work and I started working on me, I was like, I'm a messed up individual to go after men that I can control because they can't contribute. So I can tell them when to come home, what they can do, where they can go. And like I said, I had to do some self searching and realize that I'm kind of messed up. So
Well,
after
that's just called being human. We all are. Whether you're
and
religious or not,
right.
we all are jacked up.
To some degree. And I hold myself accountable. And my guy friend and I, we were discussing it because I mean, we didn't listen to it together, but
Right.
we both we heard it, but we heard the World Star version.
You're right. 2 million people and heard that. God, dog.
I was just like, well, first of all, she don't listen. He clearly said, if you want to book a session, then do that. And she just totally ignored that part. And
Yeah, we're gonna leave her. We're gonna leave her alone on this one because yeah, she's gotten a lot of attention. But how? So, have you been in therapy?
I'm currently in therapy.
Okay, how long you been in therapy?
I've been in therapy for 3 months now.
Okay, because what you're saying tells me you've done something, because the admission you made is not something a lot of women would say, although it's something that I know personally and I've seen that women can't with money have had relationships like that, and and it's usually said the other way around, that men or have money and control women relationships. I'm like, well, you gotta realize it can happen the other way too. What else do you have before? Because I got 18 more folks to get into.
I don't want to be selfish.
Now, when you said you saw the World Star version, it bothered you. What bothers you about the World Star version?
It didn't bother me. What bothered me is that it was just a snippet, and people.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, they were so quick to judge, not hearing
Well,
the whole interview. So
well, it's World Star. I mean, it's like you grocery shop. You know where the National Enquirer and the Star Mag, all that stuff right there. It's meant to be the salacious titles. They don't keep that by the Wall Street Journal and the magazines. World Star is meant to grab your attention and do that kind of stuff. But it started a conversation for sure. Done that.
A much needed conversation, and I mean, I appreciate them, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, we got somebody who disagrees, so has
all
an
right,
issue.
well, bring them on.
Now we got. Hey, we get nowhere with all agreement. Thank you, Nisha. Appreciate it. Sorry, Ma, to cut you out there. Now, the only thing I say is your microphone's not connected, ma'am. Imani, your microphone's not connected. Only thing I will say is I'll be nice to you if you're nice to me. There's only one thing I don't allow is over talking the host. Imani, your microphone's not connected, so we're gonna go to Crystal. And then next we're going to go to Nikki. What's going on, Crystal? I am well. What you got for me?
Disagreements or anything. I actually agreed with everything that you said. I felt like you were very polite reading the comments because I actually had the opportunity to actually see that live. So not just the little snippet, but actually to see the whole thing. She did call on the wrong day, and I was trying to explain that to people that were commenting, but a lot of people just didn't want to hear it. And I have to agree with
here's one thing I have to ask you ladies. Why, from a woman's point of view, why do you think so many people didn't want to hear what you were having to say about the video or about me? Why were they just like, yeah, whatever. 2 + 2 is 4. I don't care. Tell me why. Go ahead.
Because of you, because you are who you are, and they want to discredit you. And a lot of women cannot take it. I've been married for 12 years, and a lot of women, they want to be married, but they can't take correction from a man. So how can you be married? So you know, and I think it's not the message, it's you, it's the messenger. that is the issue. And so I have to tell a lot of my friends, I have to tell a lot of ladies, you know, if this is something that you want, you have to be willing to be corrected, because you're not right all the time. I've made mistakes throughout our 12-year marriage, and he has too. And so we have to, you know, listen to one another and figure out how we
Hey,
can help
Crystal.
and support each other.
All right,
Yeah.
appreciate you calling in, Mom. I got 21 more people. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
See, here's one thing I think that's happened. That one of the men on Voices panel said it, that I grew up seeing black men in authority. In my high school, the dean of the school was black. I saw black history teachers that were men, science teachers, math, not just coaches. Excuse me. I saw men in positions of power. So the black man's authority has been so diminished to where when a man is just speaking from an authority position, first you want to question who is he. I mean, I've actually had 20-year-old people talking to me like I'm their age. It doesn't matter my pedigree, my degree, whatever. It's like the level of disrespect and contempt for the black male image is something that I often say, men, we gotta, like it or not, it is what it is. See, here's another thing about me as an image consultant. You guys need to understand something. I don't necessarily concern myself professionally with how we got here. Professionally, I don't care. Professionally, I care about an outcome. I don't care about what got you there. That's, if you're a therapist to somebody else over there, that's your job. As me, I'm worried about outcomes. How do we get the outcome you want? Or is the outcome you want plausible? That's really what it comes down to. And if you want women come to my show and they say they want a man who is earning a certain kind of money so they can have a certain kind of lifestyle. And for the first time, they're hearing that these guys actually have requirements. All right. Who is this? Let me see this person's name. Are you visible? Here we go. Now, I don't know how to pronounce your first name. Okay. How are you? Good. How old are you? All right. What do you have for me?
I just recently started watching your show, and I think it's pretty interesting. And I'm just sort of going through this phase of my life where I'm learning about different perspectives. And I guess my only question is, does it have to be so, like, sometimes it comes off as a little abrasive, the way that you're talking to the women? And so my only question is that the only way to truly get someone to understand where they are or aren't in life?
How long have you been watching my show?
Only like 2 weeks.
All right. How many shows have you watched?
I watched that one. I watched a couple about like weight and stuff. So maybe like 3 or 4.
And have you noticed that I have the same tone and tenor with every one of the people I talk to?
Yeah, I would say for the most part.
No, I don't talk to everybody the same. I am a mirror for the people I speak to. If you watch the show, in question, if you watched the full interview, how did I start off the conversation with her?
Like pretty polite, I guess.
Right. So if you are in a position to where you own a business and you have a product or service that you sell, and you have something that you're doing that's one way, and you have something, let's say you have a restaurant, and today you're serving shrimp, and the person's coming in and they say, "Oh, I want steak." Well, if you want steak, you should have came on this day. "Oh, but I really want steak." "I know, but it's shrimp day." "Oh, well, I'm usually asleep. I'm usually working on the day." "Okay, well, you could always come back on steak day." "But I'm here now." All right. If you went through the trouble of actually going to prepare them a steak, would you want them to at least be appreciative, understand that you went out of your way to do something and at least be a polite guest?
Yeah.
Did I have, she was not.
Yeah, that's true.
So my question is, why is it that women can fully well expect to say, I'm nice to a man until he goes there and then I can just snap? But black men seem to not be able to be allowed full human expression. When we snap, it's always, well, could you have not snapped? Because what you're saying to me, I hear at least once a week.
Okay.
And my question is, who talks to women the right way, according to you? Because I've asked that many times. Who talks to women in a way that you think would be most receptive?
Well, there are other people on YouTube who do something similar to you, not in the same sort of format. But
I don't even mean this in the format, but this in general.
I don't really know. And I guess that's just like, that was my only question was, I think I understand what you're saying when you're talking, you start off in a polite tone and then someone sort of goes off on you. But
yeah, I don't start that way. And if I do that, even when I have the next conversation, it's a reset. Let me ask you, are you a Christian?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. I grew up, I was baptized at 5, church, and Baptist, and then Church of God in Christ. One thing that I've noticed a lot is we don't really talk about sin like we used to. We certainly don't talk about Old Testament stuff. There's a lot of prosperity preaching, and it's become Christianity light in a lot of ways. But you also notice you don't see as many men in the church.
That's true.
Because men are 2 + 2 is 4. Men are far more practical. You ladies are more emotional. So even men, we have a need to get stuff done. So I actually go further than a lot of people would in trying to not go there. But unfortunately, some people hear that way. I would prefer it not to be that way, honestly.
Yeah, I guess I understand what you're saying. I just from my own experience, like when I'm hearing somebody give advice and sometimes it can come off, I guess, like you said, in my feelings, think it's really mean or just a really rough. But maybe afterwards I can reflect. But if someone
were
is
you raised with were your mother and father married?
Yeah.
Did your father, who was the disciplinarian in the family?
It was a little bit of both.
Okay. But who did you not want to be disciplined by?
Typically my dad.
Why?
He was scary.
But so when your father said something, you knew you had a different time frame, a different leash, a different level than when mom said it.
Correct.
Many people don't have that. I didn't have that. So the point I'm making is, was your dad being mean? Or was he telling you something out of love that you might possibly didn't understand as a child and you just perceived it as mean?
Yes, very much so.
Well, I would submit that in the Black community, we have had so little male authority or influence that we are out of control. And this is not something I've said. Shahrazad Ali said it back in '89, to where when men actually speak, it sounds like out of control. But I got to ask, who's more known for actually being mean and talking crazy? Is it Black men, or is it stereotypically? See, let's erase that question. We need to approach each other in good faith.
Okay.
And the only way we start approaching each other in good faith is when we do our individual therapy. And that's why I think that many of us are coming at each other from a scarcity, fear-based mindset. We don't know each other. We don't understand each other. So we're on heightened alert. I mean, for God's sake, the world has told you that I'm your enemy. And the world has told me that you're a horrible person. So there's no wonder why there's so much conflict. But it's time for us to decide who we are to each other.
So I guess my question to that would be, if in that situation she had sort of, gone off as she did, or just started sort of being in la la land with, what you were trying to get her to understand about like realistic goals and partnerships and stuff, would it be crazy for a man to just sort of like come from a softer perspective? Would that not have the same effect as like, like if a pastor's
How
talking,
many?
like,
Okay, I come from a softer perspective for 20. How much longer should I have been soft? At what point should I have gotten hard?
I don't know.
And that's always a problem, young lady. It's
Okay.
always like every week, it's always like, yeah, but you could have come in a little softer. Okay, at what point is it time to pull out the belt? I don't know. And the answer is it's never time, because you guys have soft hearts for each other. I felt bad for her. But did you feel bad for the black man that was running a business and a show that she was disrespecting and not paying attention to, and asking the same question over and over and over and over and over again, laughing on the phone and everything else? Did you have any compassion or feeling for me? Be honest. Nope. Because
I definitely felt like when the phone came out, that's when I was like, well, it doesn't seem like she's engaged anymore.
Right.
So that was yours. I did agree
And
with
that's
that.
and the whole, and I said I'm going to use this as a teaching, because I said at the beginning, ma'am, you approach black men in the wrong way.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of times they didn't even listen to what she was saying. She said that she couldn't even submit to a man, or she kept talking about, when I date down, do such and so forth. See, we paint black men in I call it the color purpling of our community.
You say that a lot. What does that mean? The
The
color
movie
purple?
Color Purple.
Okay.
1980, Alice Walker, The Color Purple. Mister. A lot this in my personal opinion, no science, no facts, I think it's had a deleterious effect on the black community, because black men have been painted in a position of this patriarch that was so mean and brutal and oppressed black women. We ain't never had that kind of power over y'all. But it's the popular theory.
Okay.
And when you don't have dads in the home, you can be told that we're bad. I mean, when's the last time you seen a loving black, a Dr. Phil not Dr. Phil, Uncle Phil type black man in a movie? A black man who's successful, in command and in charge, living well, doing well by his family. He's not a buffoon. When's the last time you seen that?
I don't know.
That's
I don't
a
know
problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we're either overgrown children or we're bumbling buffoons. Black men are not competent anywhere. That's why they throw so many of us in dresses. That's why so many people try to come out and call me gay, because you have to tear down somebody who's just being direct. That's why I said Simon Cowell, American Idol, he's allowed to be direct, and he can have a show and spin off into other shows and become a millionaire. No one ever asked him to be nicer. They just said he's a professional. He knows what he's doing.
Gotcha.
Gordon
so it's
Ramsay's.
Like the effect. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Yeah, well, it's Gordon Ramsay, the same thing on Hell's Kitchen. We don't see black men in authority positions, and that's why I say and here's a time in history where social media has given black people the opportunity to make our own media, and we're responsible for our own image.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said it is time for us to sit down and start understanding how we relate to one another without other people trying to tell us how to do it. We got to figure out us, because if we don't, everybody's going to keep eating off of us.
Gotcha.
I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
Bye.
Merry Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have... Okay. Next up, we have Melanie. Melanie B. Hello, Melanie. Hello. How are you? Good. How old are you? Okay. What do you have for me?
Okay. I wrote the talking points because I think I'll forget. I just want to say that you do a really good job at delivering your message, but I think what people have problem is not the knowledge, but who's giving it. I recently realized that most people try to discredit what people have to say because it's not the narrative that media wants to project.
Melanie, before you get, do you have a disagreement?
I wouldn't say that it's a disagreement with what you were saying, because what you were saying was in fact good.
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get to the people who have a disagreement. So if you don't have a disagreement, I got a couple other people I need to get to.
My apologies.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thanks. You can stay here, but I want to prioritize the calls. Essence. Where is Essence? I don't see an Essence in here. Okay. Essence, unmute yourself. Hello? Yes, I can. Hi. How old are you? All right. What do you got for me?
Okay, so not a disagreement, but more so bringing clarity to something I've heard. I've only seen a couple of your shows. I'm new. Came here via WordStar, but so the thing around the high value man and the idea what seems to be ranking high on the priority list is a woman's looks and things like that. But what would the woman be getting out of the relationship? I know when you guys
Okay. What I need you to do is try to make the question concise. What's the question you're trying to ask?
So if a man is high ranking a woman's looks on his priority list for his mate, is it a bad thing or a negative thing for the woman to also be highly ranking the money? Because it's this whole thing, well, if a man loses his money and all of that.
Okay. If a man's ranking looks highly, is it wrong for a woman to rate resources highly?
Correct.
No. It's natural.
And so what is there to gain? I mean, on both sides, that's what I'm not clear on in the whole topic. Like I said, I'm new. So
What do you mean? What is it to gain on both? Okay. What it seems to me, you're asking a complex question. What is it to gain? Well, let me ask you, what's the purpose of a relationship?
I mean, that would vary amongst people for whatever they so desire. So,
okay, what's the purpose of a marriage? What's the principal reason for a marriage?
To prosper together, in my opinion.
Okay. Generally, people would say one of the most fundamental purposes of a marriage is for the raising of children.
Okay.
Because most people don't prosper. Most people live and survive. But children do better statistically coming from a nuclear 2-parent household.
Right.
All right. So what I think what you're kind of saying is, what's the benefit of a relationship for men and for women?
But in the context of if the man, so that's what I was saying for when you're dissecting the video from Dr. Boyce, the woman, I can't recall her name, she was saying that a man wants to, build generationally with the woman, know that the woman is going to be able to take care of the family and all those things. And so is that a crucial part of it too?
Is what a crucial part of it too?
When a man is picking his mate, that he is also considering the woman's skills. That I believe that's how it's been framed, the woman's skills. Because
okay, all right, your questions they're not making a lot. I'm not really clear on what you're asking. Can you just ask me what your concern is? Because I'm hearing what's the core concern? What's the real issue?
Well, my core concern is understanding what is truly the focus. A lot of things that
the focus of what?
For a man when choosing a woman, because of course
the focus for men choosing a woman, and again, you're how old? I forgot. You're 30. What?
I'm 25.
25. All right. Let me ask you: were your mother and father married?
Yes.
What did your dad tell you?
We never really had those type of conversations in my household.
Okay.
So
Do you have any siblings? Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have younger siblings. I'm the
Okay.
eldest.
All right. So if you don't talk to your dad, do you talk to your mom about relationships?
Yeah, these are conversations that we were having more so recently, and they do go at it from the biblical standpoint, the man being the lead and things of that nature.
So at 25 years old, seems like you're asking me in a roundabout way, what's the purpose of relationships or how do relationships work? Because I'm still not
I'm
really
at,
clear, man. Okay.
so based on the things that you discuss, the topics that you cover, a recurring theme in just a few programs that I watch from you is a woman's look. I know.
Yes, a woman's looks are always going to be important.
Right. And
A woman's
so,
looks are going to be important. A woman's femininity is going to be important. A woman's weight is going to be important. The amount of children she has, her feminine skills. Yep. All those things are important.
okay, so to make it more concise, what would be the ranking thing? Because a woman could be physically.
What will be the ranking thing?
How
Depends.
would they rank?
Okay. Okay. Again, there is no what ranks for one man is different for another man depending upon where he is in life. That's why I ask. Here's a better question. Since you don't talk to your father, what do you want out of life as far as a relationship?
I'm in that process, that soul searching process of discovering that for myself.
Are you a Christian?
No.
All right. Do you understand what the purpose of a relationship is, Christian or not? And it sounds to me as though you don't really understand. I mean, me giving you a bunch of different statistics and this and that, how do relationships work? Why do you want one? Most people get together because they want to have children and build a legacy, because 70 to 80% of people are in the middle class or lower. They're not rich, not high value, all this other kind of stuff. They're just making it.
All right.
So it sounds to me it's very convoluted and complex. At 25, when was the last relationship you've had?
3 years.
And how long did that last?
4 years.
3 years ago. So you were 22, and you from 18 to 22 from high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, I always suggest if you have a mother and father, those should be the first people that you talk to or map through about relationships. I don't know why so many young ladies aren't talking to their dads when so many women wish they had a father in the household to bounce this kind of stuff off of. But it's always, but here's some things that are going to always matter to men. A woman's fitness, that means her body, that's her weight, and her dress size, her overall fitness, her femininity, her ability to cooperate, and then outside of that kind of stuff, being single. And then, so you don't want to end up, and certainly, I will say it. Do you have any children?
I do.
That's going to be a problem for a lot of guys. Because most men, especially the higher up you go, men tend to want to start their own families.
Right.
And see, I don't know, at 25, how old is your child?
I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay. And is there a particular reason why you and the dad didn't marry?
A lot of reasons.
All right. So without delving too much into it, if you have a 5 and a 2-year-old at 25, that's going to be a major determining factor in the kind and caliber of men that would approach you for a serious relationship long term. Right. That's not popular to say, but it's true. And wherever you got where you got, I always say therapy's good to understand yourself. And if you're not with the father of the child, figuring out how you guys are going to work that relationship out so you can go out and live the rest of your life and parent your children effectively. There's a lot of stuff going on at 25. And honestly, this is why I'm a proponent of marrying before you have kids, because dating with children is so complicated. And this is one of the biggest areas that women get mad at me when I say things about children. And my mother was a baby mama. And that what I call baby mama, that means not being married before having a child. Single mother means you're married or you're possibly divorced. But it sounds pretty convoluted, ma'am. Anything else I don't know what else I can address on that one.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not. I wasn't looking for any type of relationship advice or anything. I'm just was asking on your points. But thank you. I appreciate it.
All right then. Thank you. But okay, Imani, your camera, your audio. So she's finally connecting her audio. Yeah, I don't know why so many women get mad at me when I mention this thing about kids. Ask other men. Ask the kind and caliber of man you want what they think about children, because this is where I get a lot of feedback from. Imani, hello. How are you? Good. How old are you? Good. What do you got for me?
Yeah, so I have been listening to your channel. I agree with the majority of the things that you say. One of the things that stood out to me is how you always talk about cooperation and how, that's what men look for. But what I want to know is how as a woman that's dating, that's looking to, date for marriage, how do you know what men to cooperate with? Because a lot of men are, they can be kind of tricky sometimes, and they can act like they want one thing and you're saying to cooperate, but what if they're like
Okay. Let me stop you right here. You're already saying, and this is where a lot of men can be tricky sometimes. Let me ask you: were you raised with mom and dad?
I was raised by my mom, but my dad was like in my life.
He was not, or was?
He was.
But he wasn't in the household.
No.
All right. Have you ever? Okay. Is he still? Do you guys have a relationship?
Yes, but we kind of have some of like a language barrier because he's
okay. All right. So first person you would always want to ask is dad. So you're asking me ultimately what? Who do you know to cooperate with? Well, what do you want? Do you want to be married?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you question. Why?
I want to get married because I do want to start a family, and I do want to raise my family in a two-parent home with a great provider male, and I want to be a feminine woman to my husband. And
okay, so when talking about cooperation, when we come from single parent households, we don't see relationship model, certainly not marriage. So it's reasonable to say that you did not learn wife skills in a single parent home. Would that be accurate?
I would say to a certain extent, I would say like I know how to cook and clean and look like a feminine woman, but like the dynamic of a man and a woman in a household.
Well, now cooking and cleaning is something that men and women can do, so it's not a wife skill.
Okay.
This is one of the things. So we talk about cooperation. A lot of us didn't learn we didn't see a mother and a father. So we're not, let me shorten it up. That's something you're going to have to address, because many of us are learning on the job. Learning who to cooperate with. Well, I always suggest having a gauntlet. Do you want to be married? By what age do you want to be married?
By 30, like the latest, hopefully.
All right. This is when I think women need to get extremely pragmatic about it. I don't care about love. I care about practicality. Especially not coming from a situation where you saw this model. I'm a big fan of therapist, personal trainer, image consultant, matchmaker. Because the questions you're asking and how to know who to cooperate with depends upon the goal you're trying to achieve, and learning how to quote unquote vet. But honestly, men are ultimately going to be vetting or selecting you to be their wife. You control access to who you date and who you may choose to be intimate with, but the men control whether or not they propose or give you their last name, and you have to understand what they want. See, often women ask the question, how do I choose the right man? Why does the man that you would want to choose you want you?
Right.
And if you don't know that question, there you are.
Right. And that's why I'm listening to your channel, because I feel like you more so touch into that.
Well, and this is why I'm a big fan. Like I said, I mentioned something about, reclamation. This week was supposed to be about reclamation, wife school, charm school, whatever we want to call it. But at the end of the day, because we didn't get it, we're going to have some sort of solution where women can learn from other women, wives, people who know better, to how to become the best version of themselves, to make themselves. He who findeth the wife find a good thing, right? The presumption is you're already a wife and you're found. Right. Most of us think I'll become a wife after the relationship. That's nice. We're out of order that way. But that's the best I can give you in this short period of time.
What could I ask, just to sum it up? Like, so would you say just being feminine, looking your best, when the man does come and wants to date you, being cooperative and
that'll make you okay, looking your best and all these things, that's the attraction part. See, I'm gonna be dead honest. We do the first stage of relationship well in our community, the attraction. What we don't do well is the retention. Right. When something happens, when there's a problem, a hiccup, first argument, most of us end up going. We have to learn relationship skills. This stuff it's not sexy. Relationships are boring. Normal, happy, healthy relationships are boring. They're not scandal, and we didn't see it modeled, so we don't necessarily don't have good communication skills, conflict management. Do you even know your love language? What's your mate's love language? These are all things that we should have been learning, in elementary. So we dating in junior high and high school. But because we didn't do that, we have to realize that what we did not know, what we did not learn, and go back to school. And that's why I always talk about the danger zone, because women have a shorter time frame from a fertility window than men. So I'm a big proponent of, did you go to college?
Yes.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of women can go to school, put a lot of focus into getting their degree, getting their job. You need to put that kind of focus and channel that kind of energy into actually becoming suitable mate for the man you want, the type of man you want to marry. And that's taboo, telling a woman that she has to make herself ready or got her to get competitive. But depending upon the kind of lifestyle you want, I typically ask those questions, the kind of lifestyle you want, that kind of stuff, but I don't have time tonight. The higher up you go and the more upscale of a lifestyle you want, the more competitive it gets. So that's very real. All right. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Amber, you're next. Amber, unmute yourself. Oh wow, there are like a crap ton of people here. Hello. How old are you, Amber? What do you got for me?
I guess an issue. I didn't really take it personally, just because I saw like right after that you had like another you had some critique for a young man as well. So I definitely thought like you were equal opportunity in the way you gave your feedback, and I kind of saw that frankness in both videos. I guess I definitely loved your content, and I see your perspective, and I definitely think it's really important in this time. But one thing that I wanted to give as a little bit of feedback is I know you talk a lot about like the Black man is undervalued, but I do think that there is some realness in like the plight of Black women. And I felt like that resonated with me a lot when they talked about Black women being the mules of the American capitalist system in the video that you showed. And I do think that, you know, some of the backlash might come from just like historically the double subjugation, misogynoir that Black women are affected with, that, you know, Black.
Whoa, hold on. When you use these words, they mean things. What do you mean by misogynoir?
Yeah, so misogynoir is basically like misogyny, but they have added the aspects of racism on top of it as well.
Yeah, it
So
means
that's
the hatred of Black women by who?
I don't know if we would say hatred, you know, in general.
Misogyny means the hatred of women.
Well,
that's
I
what it
guess,
means, ma'am.
I
That's what it means.
understand. I understand, but I do see like how systems could also echo like just the unfair treatment of women. And I do not believe that Black men hate Black women. However, I would say that when I watched the video, I felt bad for the woman because I do understand like.
Why?
Okay, so I felt bad for the woman because I know how, you know, sometimes life could be a bit unfair, and while some
What do you mean?
people.
Hold on. You felt bad because life can be unfair. Is life supposed to be fair?
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay, let me stop you right there. So if it's not supposed to be fair, there's nothing to feel bad about.
Yeah, I guess that was pure. It was poor choice of words. What I was trying to say is, they, compared to our white counterparts, you know, Black people have had like issues with access, and I also feel like that plays a role in interpersonal.
Ma'am. See, this is one thing fascinates me about you young Black women. You get so far down into the womanist, feminist way of thinking between, I've said this on my channel, between the ages like 16 and 23, and these huge issues that you can't possibly tackle and do much about solely. And are you dating?
No.
Okay, you're 22 in the prime of your life, and you got all these big concepts, but when Becky, Marisol, and Mylene are in college looking for a husband or prepping themselves to get somebody to work with, you're on the front line fighting issues that, no disrespect, young lady, that you can't tackle. Because all you have to do, if you want to help, you want to help Black people.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Do you want to help Black? Do you want to help Black people, the Black community? You want to see better outcome for Black folks?
Of course.
The best thing you can do is marry a Black man and make Black babies. That's the best thing you can do for the Black community. Make sure we exist.
Yes. I completely agree with everything you said.
And what I'm saying, ma'am, is, and I need you to hear what I'm about to say. What you're saying tends to run men screaming for the hills. Because while it may be true, is it practically showing up in your dating life?
Is that a question?
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess and honestly, I really do want you to like take it a bit easy on me, because
I'm not take it. What have I said? This
no, because I know I'm gonna say something that like I feel like, you know, I would.
You're
like
a young lady. I understand where you're coming from, and
Yeah.
I get that you ladies tend to have a heart for other women. I get it. I get that you tend to feel compassion for sisters. But the best thing, you know, one of the the best thing you can do for poor people is not to be one, and then help who you can. But I get concerned when I hear young ladies like yourself taking on all these terms that mean stuff. Misogynoir means something. And I often hear you got, especially at college age, throwing these things around so much. And where is it practically showing itself in your romantic, dating, relational life?
Yeah, I have like a good retort for that. So there's actually, and I know you might get a little bit upset because you know you talk about the PhDs and the dog, but there's actually a study that a PhD at Princeton University.
When was your last boyfriend?
Me?
Uh-huh.
None.
This is what I mean. Young lady, it's all theory to you. And this is real. So I'm talking to you to where I'm not you understand. You got your head into the theory, but what are your actual relational skills with somebody with a man that shares your reflection?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Listen, okay, so everything you're talking about, while it may be true, see what I tend to find when young ladies like yourself, you're filling your life up with this because you don't have that. I'm not saying this is not important. I'm just saying, are you even dating?
I have okay. I understand exactly what you say, and I do know that I'm speaking a lot of theory right now. But in my, I can assure you that in my daily life and when I was on campus, you know, I was not really committed to like social justice activities. I do it in my own fashions through like,
I asked about your relationships.
and I understand you're asking about relationships, but I do think there's a bigger systemic issue that plays in role into
No,
relationships.
no. See, this is what you young folks need to understand. Life is about people. This is why I make the PhD sound, because all the stuff you're talking about, let's say you're all these systemic things you're talking about, great, wonderful, and you're a well-read scholar, and you speak and you lecture, such and so forth. You're 85 years old. Who's coming to visit you in the aged home? He's gone. See, I'm not saying don't do this. I'm saying do both. And far too often, young black women don't do relationship until it's too late. And you have spent so many years not dating, relating, and you get it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, it atrophies. Ma'am, you can't just decide to, in the future, when you decide you're ready, to just go, I'm going to pull a man off the tree and we're going to no, you don't have the skills.
I absolutely agree with everything you're saying, but I do want to push back on the idea that women like myself are not actively seeking. While I was on university campus,
I'm
there
not
was
talking about, see, this is one thing I'm talking about. I don't care about women like yourself. I'm talking to the woman on the phone.
yeah,
See,
and
that's what, listen. That's the beautiful thing about, see, oftentimes when it gets tight for women, you guys go to the broad. I'm concerned about you. I
yeah,
don't care about the women on your campus because they're not on my phone. Are you doing what it takes to make another black family? If you care about black people, you can be as social justicely concerned, just like everybody else. But it seemed like Becky, Marisol, Mylene, and Anu can do all their social justice and still seem to find a social justice husband to make social justice babies. Can we get our college educated black women with equally yoked black men and go fight the power and make some social justice babies if that's what you need? And stop being independent, be interdependent, because we get nowhere individually.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying.
Do both, ma'am. I'm just all I'm saying. Do both. Don't just do one. Do both.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
You too.
See, this is what I think so many of we get. It's like you get black folks were passionate. That's why you go to black folks. You go to church. We got the best music. We're passionate, but passion focused in the wrong way, it can be destructive. And we have been told that so many women have been told that, well, whenever you're ready, you can just go do a relationship. And guys are like, well, where are the suitable mates when guys are ready? If you watch my channel, you'll find that many women say that early on in their life, they had a perfectly suitable guy. They passed over. We didn't have to learn how to interact with one another when it's time. And the thing is, we have been told as a community that we don't matter to one another. All right, I can't finish this entire show. It's almost up to 12:30. Let me see. I'll take a couple more calls. There are 25 people in here. Jesus, 26, 27. Lord have mercy, Jesus. But what I did want to say before I get over there is this is, like I said at the beginning, this became far bigger than Kevin Samuels. Far bigger than me. It's far bigger than a conversation with me and that woman. This is something that resonated in our community, and we're going to sit down and look at it. Black people have the ability to sit down, men and women, one to one, and that's what it comes down to. All this, that, and that, eventually it comes down with one man, one woman. And if my mother can get it done at 50 years old, you can too. Nothing is hard and set in stone. Another thing, we have to start getting to a point to where we stop getting upset with things that are new concepts or something that we initially don't like. You know, this whole killing the messenger stuff, we don't have to worry about pew pew in the street, such and so forth. If we want to keep just, we don't like you, we want to cancel you. Suggestion. If you don't like something that somebody's saying, go to another channel. But can we live, please? Do we have to keep canceling each other? I don't understand this. And then we complain that we don't have any black anything. We're gonna have to have disagreement day. Lord have mercy. 1, 2, 3. I don't have. So if you have a disagreement, do me a favor, put your hand up because there's so many folks in here right now. We're gonna have to do part 2 to this one. When black women ask me in general, what do black men want from a black woman? Cooperation. Men, high value men will go down in looks, go down in a lot of things to go up in cooperation. I'm not asking for the world. Cooperation. That's it. 51% of black men are single and childless. 64% are in the middle class. And like I said, the majority of my clients and guys I work with want to not date, not have a rotation. They want to marry and have kids. Whether you agree with it or I agree with it or she agree with it, that's what they want. And the thing is, if they're looking, if this man and this woman can't find one another, what's the point? That's why when I made that group, I just said, well, why don't I just put together a group of like-minded people? And guess what? The funny thing is, you put like-minded men and women in a group together and nature figures things out. We can actually decide what we want 2021 to look like going forward. But it can't be gender war. He's wrong because he's wearing. We got to get past that. We got to get past that, in my opinion. All right. We got 2 people who have disagreements. All righty. Here we go. Precious. Hello. Yes. How? Your name is Precious. How old are you? What do you got for me?
Okay. Well, first of all, I wanted to say that I've never seen any of your videos or anything before. And I've only seen the clip and I still haven't seen the full video. But what I want to say is what triggered me, not really what I disagree with, but what caught that trigger at that moment, specifically from that clip. Okay. Especially when we're dealing with Black women and you have the statistics on the numbers and the finances and where we're living and how we're living and the communities that we're living in. So we see you speaking to this woman of higher stature that has put herself through school or whatever and done whatever she has needed to do to get to this level of what she feel like she wants to have, just specifically on her. Okay. And we see the men that we deal with and their level of disrespect of any type of woman of whatever
Okay,
status
okay,
they're
okay,
in.
man. Hold on.
Hmm.
What's the disagreement?
The disagreement, like I said, it was more of a trigger because after I watched you and heard you, it's most definitely not a disagreement. But the trigger was that you're telling her that she's overvaluing herself when you've already said there's not a nice amount of men
Let me
that's
stop
up
you right
that.
here.
Hmm.
Did you hear her say that when she dates down,
Yes.
that she can't feel like she feels like she can't submit to a guy under six figures?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what about the men that she was talking about?
I totally agree with you. She was
The-
wrong.
No,
And
no,
since
no, no. She's not wrong. That's her desire. And what I told her
Mhm,
is, ma'am, average looking women
mhm,
tend to get average looking men. Average people tend to get average people.
right,
Switch
right,
to the word average and normal, and that is that true or false?
right. I totally agree with
Okay,
you.
so
Mhm.
what you're telling me about is her finances.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't change the fact that she's a normal average person.
Right. I totally 100% agree with you. But what I was saying is what triggered those emotions from the Black women specifically and why you were
Mhm.
attacked. I'm not saying that I disagree with you, but I understand what triggered, and you asked like what triggered, so many
I
Black
still
women.
understand. I don't understand what triggered me saying it. What? Could you be clear? I mean, specific. What
I could
was it?
be, yeah, most definitely. Because how you spoke to her, you know,
What do you mean?
reminded in a stern way, which was not wrong. I'm not saying that it was wrong. Okay. But the way that you spoke to her triggered a lot of us women, okay, that are, respectful or doing what we're supposed to do to get ahead and live life, normal life, not even a six-figure life,
Okay,
just a regular
let me
life.
slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
The way I spoke to her,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, that you didn't watch the whole video. Let me give you some background. That
Mm-hmm.
woman called in on a day. She's a regular watcher of my show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she called
Right.
into my show on the day she wasn't supposed to call.
I totally agree with you. I'm
No,
not
no, no,
disagreeing
no,
with
no.
any of that.
But the thing is, you're saying the way I spoke to her, and
Mm-hmm.
did you see a woman that was on her phone looking
I did.
around? Okay,
Mhm.
so why is it the way I'm speaking to her that's triggering or disrespectful? What? But what about? See, what I'm hearing from you, ma'am, is
Mm-hmm.
black women
Mm-hmm.
can do what they want to or how they want to, but if a black man says something that's arguably right, it's going to trigger you.
Okay, can I get 30 seconds to explain something real quick? Okay, so you can understand where I'm coming from. Okay, I've had men within our community that says, "Hey, you're so nice, you're so sweet. Why are you happy every day?" No average person is happy every day. Do you see what's happening in our streets and things like that? So, when we telling women certain things and we relate to it, we also looking at our situations,
Okay,
and
what?
things like
Okay,
that.
ma'am, but hold on. Okay,
Uh-huh.
you're talking about a conversation I had with some. I'm not understanding because what it sounds as though you're just saying black women are exposed nerves that can't control themselves.
Yes.
Well, and that's why I said you need therapy because I
Oh,
guarantee.
wait.
Hold on. This is why I say I guarantee you can because if you got to go to work and get a paycheck, you can control yourself to make sure that happens.
I totally agree. I said I don't
That woman
disagree
was a
with you.
35-year-old. I get it. See, the thing is, what we're not used to
Mm-hmm.
is a black man being direct, having
Mm-hmm.
standards, and standing on what he means. That was
Mm-hmm.
offensive. What I
Right.
said was, you heard black women say if it had come from someone else, it would have been accepted. It was offensive because it came from a heterosexual black man who
I
knows what he's
totally
talking
agree.
about.
I
And
totally agree with you.
and if
I
that
totally agree.
triggers, then that means if a black woman got triggered by that, then what do you want black men to be? The opposite of that?
No.
Well, okay. Well, if that's gonna trigger you, then I will say most women, then you can't date one.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be with one. So what you gonna get the opposite of that?
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
So I get what you're saying, but I just think that I can't give that leeway of saying that grown women, and honestly, most of the women that were attacking me are women in their 30s. We're not talking about, teenagers. We're talking about grown women who saw the clip and did not care about whether I was right on the facts, right on the substance. It's just, who the nerve are you to tell that woman anything?
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I
that's an
totally
issue that a lot of
understand.
women have with black men. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
I totally.
appreciate you calling. Anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Black men have no authority or agency in a lot of black women's eyes. I've heard some of the strangest things. Who did he think he is? It doesn't matter who I am. If you think I'm not worth a damn. I'm gonna take this last. Who is this person? Aaliyah. Hello. First name is Aaliyah. How old are you? What do you got for me?
I don't think high value men actually want high value women. So the
How many
thing is,
high value men do you know?
I'm sorry.
How many high value men do you know at 23?
Well, I've grown up with high value men. All the men that I've grown up around were high value. So me now, I have a high value man.
Hold
So
on. The men you grew up around, these are your relatives?
right, my fathers, my
All right.
granddads, my the men
So
in
how many high value men do you know that you aren't related to?
a lot, maybe at least 20.
Really?
At least 20.
Go ahead.
So I have a high value man and we've been dating. And after watching your show, I realized I was actually a high value woman.
Hold on.
And then I was
Hold
like,
on. How old is your boyfriend?
he's 10 years older than me, so he's 32. And that's the thing, he's not my boyfriend.
The
And
guy
I'm a
you're
high value
dating?
woman.
Okay. So your ultimate point is?
I don't think that high value men actually want high value women because I'm being gambled with. I'm still not a girlfriend after 2 years. And I check off every mark.
Well, see, that has nothing to do with high value men, ma'am. That has everything to do with your guy you're dating.
So what am I doing wrong if I check off every mark, if I'm cooperative, if
Listen, hold on. First thing you have to understand is it's not fair to make an indictment about all supposedly high value men because of your situation. That's your situation. And at your age, to say that high value men don't want this, it's really kind of unrealistic to say that because you're just really getting out here. If he doesn't want, do you want to be married or something?
Yes, I have.
To the guy you're dating?
No, I've been married before, but I want to be married to the guy that I'm dating.
Okay. You're 23, when were you married?
I got married when I was about 20.
You have any children?
No.
And the guy you're dating, how long you been seeing him?
2 years.
And you want to marry him?
I mean, I at least want to make it to be a girlfriend. You said I made it to the interview stage. It's been at least 6 months. I'm past
no. Well,
probation.
see this. Okay, let me see if I can help you here. You start how you finished. Did you make it a requirement that that you want to be married when you started dating this man?
No.
Did you make it a requirement that you were a girlfriend before you started having sex with this man?
No.
Then you got what you got. Has nothing to do with being high value. You set your asking price. He met it. But please don't make it an issue with high value.
Makes sense.
That's why I say, if you've been married by this young age, where's your dad?
My dad, he's around. He's always been around. He didn't approve of my decisions, but
why? But possibly for good reasons. And the reason I'm saying it that sounds like you've had some serious relationship stuff at a very young age. This is why I think therapy is so good, because
I too take through therapy. I think I've done, and that's why I'm not understanding if all it takes is to follow what you said.
No. See, what you're not understanding is therapy. Young lady, you sound confused, and that's okay. But if you're with somebody 10 years older and you're just wanting to get promoted to girlfriend or wife, look, if he doesn't want to marry you, you shouldn't want to marry somebody that doesn't want to marry you.
I don't want to be married yet. I at least wanted to be second base. I don't want to be in a dating zone for
unfortunately, you picked the wrong man. And it has nothing to do with high value. I mean, you have a choice in this, so
I'll take it.
Yeah. Adios, mijo. All right. Lord have mercy. It's almost 1:00. I guess we better take these. To get these through here, who's Nisha? Nisha, you're next. All right. Let's see. Nisha has a disagreement or an issue. Go ahead. Hello. Hey, Nisha. How are you? Good. How old are you? What did I get wrong?
So let me just say, I've never even heard of you before today. I've never seen any of your videos. I was actually on Facebook and I saw the World Star. And let me just say, within the first couple of seconds, like, your body language kind of was just, as soon as you realized she was calling on the wrong day, like, I'm very observant and your body language was completely off, which is understandable. But you being somebody who's on social media and, dealing with people, I feel like that
What's
was
the disagreement?
That was like, the first thing.
What's
And
the
then
disagreement?
especially, yeah.
What's the disagreement?
The disagreement is you're claiming that, you didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't claim I didn't do anything wrong. I said what I did was justified.
So the way you acted was justified.
Well, first of all, ma'am, you didn't watch the entire video.
I didn't get, but you let me finish. I did watch the whole video, and I watched the videos afterwards. And
okay, well, I need you not to overtalk. First of all, okay, if we're gonna have a conversation, you can't overtalk me.
Understood.
If someone comes to my restaurant who's normally comes to my restaurant, and they know not to come into my restaurant on seafood day asking for steak, and they come in on seafood day and say, "Oh, but I really want a steak," and I say, "Ma'am, it's not steak day. Come back on steak day." "Oh, but I work on steak day." Well, you could always take off, but I'm here now. I have every right to say no. I have every right to say, all right, if I'm going to do this, please respect the process. Did you respect the process?
So I can talk now. So what I'm saying is...
that was a question. Did she respect the process?
No, she did not respect the process.
And understand the process that I told her you could gladly go pay for 7 times. So she wanted it for free when she knew it could cost. And she's a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just saying that every action has a reaction. So her acting like that made you react like that, but you should understand that your reaction to it caused all this backlash.
No, well, okay. And the thing is, let's just say you're right, ma'am. Ma'am, what is your ultimate disagreement, though?
That is my ultimate disagreement.
That what? I should have done what?
That you just gotta be careful of your body language, especially if you're going to be on social media and everything else. And just, if you're not, just be prepared for what happens.
Oh, here's the thing. I'm prepared for what happens. The thing is, but I'm listen. If you watch my show, what happened? I was very patient. See, you're new to me, so due respect, you're making a very, very micro judgment about a lot of work and a big catalog. So I challenge you to go back and look at more of my videos and understand that she actually was given a lot of grace, a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy. She got almost 30 minutes of my time that she could have chosen to pay for. But I bet you if I'd have took my dog to her and asked her, "Oh, could you do this?" I wouldn't have got it for free.
Okay. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, you were right. I didn't say you were wrong, but I'm just saying that your delivery just be. I feel like if you've done this for so long, you should know. It should at least be a little bit more self-conscious on how you deliver things. And if you're okay with the way you deliver it,
but the thing is, ma'am, I am. I'm okay with the way I do. The only thing I could have possibly said is not said get the F off, but I could have said but I would have said French toast.
yeah.
But there's the thing. And like I said, with Simon Cowell, with Gordon Ramsay, we allow non-black men to express emotion without a problem. Our president can say whatever he wants to, but when a black man, we're always, well, you shouldn't. I reject the notion that black men can't be full human. I can't. But I appreciate your call. Thank you.
I definitely don't think it's black men though, but I feel like everybody should be like that way. So
but the world is not perfect. Well, that's you're open to your point of view and behavior, but it's just not realistic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't get this that black men we have to continuously edit ourselves. I'm not a big fan that black men must fear backlash or repercussion from black women just because you don't like something you hear from us. Well, it's always what I keep hearing is, well, you coulda. Yeah, she also coulda did it the right way. But I don't. But I've never heard it. But I yet to hear women come and say, she coulda did it the right way. She could have patronized your business as a business owner to another business owner. She could have came in the front door, ordered what's on the menu, sat down, ate, paid for it, and left. But no, she went around the back and she wanted what's left over as scraps or whatever. And then you can't complain that it's not cooked the way you want to. You're going to go on the Yelp. I went to the restaurant and I got the filet mignon and it was not cooked the way I wanted to, and da-da-da-da-da-da. But in the notes, I didn't really go to the restaurant. I went to the back and they had leftover prime rib and I ate what was left. But he should have been more conscious of what he was throwing away because it's a 5-star restaurant. You should have better scraps. You're never gonna be right. Ladies, I gotta go. It's already 1:00. There are too many people up here. Kyla. Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. Look, I've rewatched what I don't put anything out on content. I don't say anything without a reason. And I stand by what I said. I was very patient. If you watch the entire full interview, I would say this. I would challenge any one of you to be even more patient. If someone came to your business asking for your help, and when you're trying to help them, they're not paying attention, that was totally disrespectful. And the thing is, we have to get to and why is that important? Not for me. We got to get to a place where we have good faith and we start to have more respect for one another. Ladies, you can't ask men for respect if you're not willing to give respect. You can't ask for men to do something that you're not willing to first do yourself. Well, I would say you can't. You shouldn't be surprised at what you get if that's what you choose. So, shout out to all the PhDs.
I'm a PhD.
We rebuke the sins of silliness.
I rebuke.
Oh yeah, good show, good follow up. Got some stuff over on Instagram. We're gonna have part 2 to this. We're gonna have disagreement days. We're gonna keep moving forward. Keep going forward. We're back in the week of reclamation because, like I said, at the end of the day, without black couples, you can't have black nothing. Ladies, gentlemen, At the end of the day, what are you here for? All this gender war stuff, I said it's over. You don't have, if you want to still argue about this or that, come on, man. We got to keep it moving. We got to keep it moving if you want something different. Like I told the one young lady, the best thing we could all do is try to find somebody that looks like us to couple with, because we certainly get upset when the high value this or the high value that or the accomplished one over there. What do you want? What do you want, and what are you willing to do to get it? Like I said, it's all about an outcome. You only get to choose what you're willing to do for what you're willing to get. We don't only get, and there are no guarantees. Look, nobody owes us understanding. The world is a harsh place. It is. It's a harsh place. And sometimes I think we expect, sometimes I think we just have unrealistic expectations from strangers, from situations. You know, when I often talk to black men, I say we are far too informal with each other. Don't approach me and call me Kev. My name is Kevin. Your name is Daryl. I'm not going to call you D. We need to err on the side of being overly formal, overly polite versus very informal. Don't head nod me, shake my hand. That's the way I think. You may vary, but what's the outcome you're trying to achieve? And is what you're doing working? All right. Shout out to the CIA. One love to the FBI. Good show, good things. A lot of stuff coming up. Yes, there are interviews coming up. I've been asked to come on TV shows, podcasts. A lot of stuff coming up. Clips here, clips there. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Thank you, guys. I'm digging it. It's a good show. Headed to New York later on this week. It ought to be fun up there. Hopefully it will be anyway. What a week. What a week. What a week. Merry Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Till next time. Peace. We are gone. Shout out to everybody who donated and super chatted and cash app. Needless to say, with 13,000 plus people. Can't really get to all that. Can't really read it. But I will be responding to the ones that come up. Thank you to all the first time listeners. The people who are new to the platform. Go back and look through the catalog. Make your own judgment. The work is there. The videos are there. Enjoy. Just keep it cool, keep it classy in the comment section. If you want to support the movement, support my show, go to patreon.com, become a patron. That's the easiest way to support the platform. That's where a lot of the stuff that might not necessarily stay up here will end up going. But that's how you support the platform on a consistent monthly basis. Here we go. We're back on IG tomorrow. Support me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram in the frat room. Knock that off. Instagram, I call it the frat room. I go live on Instagram almost daily. Start back on Thursday. Yeah. Follow me on IG. It promises to be kind of crazy because we've gone from like 15,000 to like 100,000 over there. But here's the most important part. I am looking for therapists, counselors, Hold on. Knock that off. Come on now. What is going on, man? Knock that off. Well, it's not coming up. Well, I'll be darned. All right. So, here's what I need. Banner's not coming up. If you are a relationship therapist, counselor, instructor, email me at info@bykevinsamuels.com. I'm looking to send people out to therapists, counselors, matchmakers, whomever, looking to collaborate with other professionals in that area. Not my expertise. A lot of requests. We need to start putting resources and resources and professionals in front of people. Email me at info@kevinsamuels.com. Also, you can email your show idea to info@kevinsamuels.com. Put show idea or Ask Godfather in the subject line for your question. Or go to kevinsamuels.com. Go to booking. Schedule your one-on-one session with me. Do me a favor. Respect my inbox. Until the next time, we are out of here. We are gone, people. Peace. We're out.